Everybody, welcome. I have a feeling you're here because my sissy invited you. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. It is gorgeous. It's so pretty out here. And there's the mountains over on the other side, so I was thinking about headed over to the mountains, but I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm okay. Right here is good enough. At a park. There's kids in the background. Today we are going to be talking about damaged people. Ooh, that's a tough subject. Damaged people in relationships and just as an individual. So it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a few egos, mainly because people aren't looking forward to hearing that they're damaged. So if we can leave our egos outside of this conversation, that'd be awesome. I'm also really, really willing to take any questions that might be coming and might be arising. But I ask that you do your best to try to hold them as much as you possibly can because I want to make sure that you guys get this information. There's a lot to me that maybe I should explain real quickly. I'm a holistic health and wellness coach. I do all things about getting people centered and grounded. And in a world where everything is so right now, immediately, it's very important that we understand that we need to slow down and understand ourselves. Sissy's so funny. Swipe and invite in my Janice's voice. But with that said, I need you all to take the time to once again leave your egos outside of this door. Let it sit, over there somewhere and enjoy this conversation and the good music in the background, okay? Damaged people and damaged relationships. So I even wrote this out because, thank you. There's a lot that needs to be said about this. I've seen so many people who are in relationships right now who are damaged. It's the scariest thing I've ever seen. I can speak to this personally because I've been damaged and then called myself getting into relationship after relationship after relationship, allowing myself to get sucked into the ideology that somebody else can fix the damage that either someone else did or that I did to myself. There's a problem with that. One is, more than likely, I've carried on the issues that I initially thought were already finished and completed. Turns out I would put them onto somebody else. And they may not have even done anything. They might have said hi. And I immediately go, who are you to tell me hi? Why are you saying hi like this? Like, it was horrible. And of course, hi is a very small, very, very small example to use. But the importance is that you understand how we can relate to our initial idea that somebody else doing something like someone else can immediately trigger a different response. So, damaged people, individuals, but they think that sometimes, I think people don't always recognize that damaged people don't necessarily come from just relationships, romantic relationships. Sometimes damaged people can come from mommy and daddy issues. That's number one. Sometimes daddy wasn't around, and so we're tripping, that people are like our dads. So if daddy didn't show up to our tennis practice, or if daddy didn't show up to our play, or if daddy wasn't around at all, now we're looking at other men like they're not going to be around, or we're attributing that to just people in general. Well, if this individual, who's supposed to be my parent, wasn't there for me, who are you, some stranger, to be there for me? So we have to understand that damage doesn't just come from romantic relationships. Damage comes from people in general. I remember one time in middle school, some girl called me a Neanderthal. I held on to that crap for so long. I was like in the 5th grade. I held on to that stuff till college days. And there was no need for me to actually do that. There was no need for me to hold on to those kind of ideas that somebody else said to me. There's just no idea. There's no reason for that. If I somehow agree with that ideology, if I agree that this individual is right, I look like a Neanderthal, then guess what? I look like a Neanderthal. Now it hurts. But if I know, and you know, I don't look like a Neanderthal, I look like a queen, then why in the world am I holding on to that? Same situation with dads. I'm speaking about this for moms, for women, and not just women, also men as well, because you'd be surprised at how many men carry on and hold that ideology of daddy wasn't there for me, now I have to be this, that, and the third. It hurts everybody across the board. It's really, really sad. But it's like, you have to understand that daddy not being there or daddy not being what you expected doesn't mean that you have to go and hurt other people or allow that hurt to fester into something else. What you can do instead is really start focusing on, how do I fix this? So you take a piece of pen and a piece of paper and a pad, piece of paper and a pen pad, and you just write out everything that doesn't really fit you. If you divide it right down the middle, I'm gonna show y'all how to do this because this is really serious. Y'all can really. If you sit up here and say, as you can see, I do a lot of writing. But if you sit up here and say, look at all these people. These are all previous co-creators. Y'all can't see this information. Okay. So if you take a pen and a piece of paper and you line it right down the middle. On this side, all the things that you've heard about yourself, all the things you think about yourself, and all the things that just somebody else might have said, just in passing. If these things are negative, if any of these are in the negative, you immediately come right over here and start writing the positive. So if someone says ugly, you say beautiful. If someone says stupid, you say intelligent. But you have to write the whole list down here first in order to know what to write here. Do you understand what I'm saying? And here's the reason why you're going to do that. The very basic and simple reason why you're doing that is because what you're telling yourself is these ideas, know what you've heard, what you agree with, what you don't even know you agree with, and then moving it to the other side and saying, that's not my truth, that's not my reality. Now, the problem is, of course, everybody wants to sit up here and think positively. But if you mess around here and say, I'm going to remove these negative thoughts, remove these negative ideas, but then you don't put anything positive in its place, all you're going to do is allow for that space to be reconnected to the negative stuff that's already in your head. It'll just worm its way back there. So if you want to pluck that out, the smartest thing to do is to plug something else in. Pluck it out, plug something in. You get what I'm saying? Work it with me. Thank you. So that's one way to help you and yourself with that's what you need to do in order to help change your ideas of yourself. Damaging ideas that somebody else said to you, things that you believe in yourself that nobody else has even said. And what's interesting is, I tell people I have a 6-year-old son. He's 6. And I tell him the same thing I tell 30-year-old women, 30-year-old men, that if you say something negative to yourself, you have to say 3 positive things. So my son right now is having a hard time with karate class. He just be bouncing all over the place. He doesn't focus very well in karate class, right? So he's like, I can't learn right now. I can't learn. I can never learn. I said, all right, 3 things. I have a smart mind. I'm able to learn. I'm intelligent. Boom. 3 things that to him might sound real stupid right now, but I feel like the world is out here the world is not out here to get you, but the world is going to get you regardless. The world is going to say something, at least one person is going to say something negative to you at least once a week. There's no need for you to put that stuff on you as well. Allow them to do that. There's no need for you to damage yourself. Let yourself be good. So if someone does say something negative to you, there's no room for it to take seed and plant and grow. What's interesting is people's minds are wired to be like a fertile soil. It can either grow something negative or grow something positive. It's all about your perspective. It's all about what you believe in, right? So if you have the opportunity to say, I'm not going to let anything negative join me or attach itself to me, then you have an opportunity now to say, okay, everything is positive. Everything is awesome. We run around here like we're in a Lego movie talking about Taco Tuesday. Might as well be talking about everything is awesome and move forward with that. Moving forward. So the number one thing about how you know if someone is damaged, this is the most craziest part to me. It's their attitude and their talk. And it's not a stereotypical thing. It's not like, that's a typically this kind of girl or typically that kind of guy. No, it's not about like profiling, because you're going to get lost. You'll be surprised at how many other ethnicities I work with too, who have self-defeating ideas, who have daddy and mommy issues, who have past relationship issues, and are bitter and scorned and damaged. It goes across the board. It's not just one ethnicity. So if you see a girl going off on her man like, la 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 la, no, they're not damaged. It could simply be that sucker did something right then and there that deserved her going off. It could be just that. It doesn't mean she's damaged. If a girl is yelling at you at that particular moment, it doesn't mean that she's damaged. It's probably because you might have done something. She's not damaged. She's not bitter. You probably did something. What'd you do? And the same thing with the guys. Sometimes guys can be like, yo, you tripping. You need to chill on something like that. Or, you know how guys talk. I ain't even going to get into that. I'm not a man. I can't talk about it. But what I can say is they may not be damaged. They may seriously just be tripping because you did something. Because, ladies, you have to understand, there's no more time for us to be victims. You cannot be victims in this. Okay, Janice, I'll do that. You can't be victims in everything. There's two letters between victim and victor. You just have to choose which one you're going to be. And so there's no more time for us to be like, oh my goodness, blah, 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 blah. Like, you have to move forward. You have to move forward in life. And the best way to do that is recognizing your position and what you might have done to contribute to the situation. Okay, I will take any questions because I clearly have been missing some. Janice was a pimp back in high school, I'll tell you that. Sissy was a pimp. Sissy had the baddest boy of all time. I remember him. Janice had the baddest. That little light-skinned boy with the light eyes was beautiful. She had the baddest boy. Like he was so fly. All the boys wanted Niecy too. I'll tell you that. Do you guys have any questions or any comments about what I've said thus far? Oh, Lord. Do I think that negative comments and actions are just as important as positive ones? Yes. That's a yeah. The thing is balance. That's the perfect word. For every negative said over you, you have to combat that. You have to. If somebody says something negative over you, if you don't know otherwise, you're going to take that and run with it. If you already think you're stupid, somebody calling you stupid in the street, guess what you're going to do? I ain't stupid. You're going to overreact. But if someone calls you stupid and you already know I'm smart, well, you're not going to trip off of it. That's not even going to phase you. So it's the same thing. Like, you have to know who you are. You have to know what you possess and what you have, and everything else will just melt away. Misery does love company, but so does joy. Joy loves company too. Let's be honest. Misery loves company, but so does joy. Hey, Troy, I didn't know you was in here. That's my boo. Hey, sissy. So if you want joy, you got to start putting out joy. If you are hurting, it's true. Hurting people hurt people. That's why it's time for you to take time for yourself. People constantly jump from relationship, looking for that validation that they should already have within themselves. And I'm saying this not because it's always been a walk in the park for me. Please, when I tell you this is not easy. But once you start learning yourself and forgiving yourself and recognizing your past issues, move on from there. There are people who are a product of their negative circumstances. I can tell you that. I work with a few people now who have been through some traumatic things. They've been through some traumatic things. And fathers, sometimes, our beloved ones, our closest ones, sometimes the ones who are closest to us are also the ones who hurt us the most, because they have so much power. If your parent is talking to you like you're crazy, like, who else is going to talk to you like they love you? If your parents are talking to you crazy, you're going to naturally think this is what love is. You're going to naturally think, okay, everybody's going to talk to me crazy. But you have to start changing your mindset, because they only did what they were here to do for you. And it may not be the best of circumstances. I understand that. I understand that some people do some really stupid things. I can't even say what I want to say because I've heard some things and I've seen some things like I just don't feel like children should go through. Some things that people go through, it's like, what were you doing as a parent? Like, what were you doing? What were you doing? But it's just the way of life. So it's easier said than done to turn your back on that idea and move forward. Hey, bonjour. It's easier said than done to turn your back on all those things that were said to you that hurts. But there is a way to do it. And I'm speaking that from experience. I'm speaking that from my fellow co-creators. Those are what I call my clients. I don't like calling people clients. I call them co-creators because I'm helping you to co-create the life that you want for yourself. I'm telling you, I'm not just saying I do this just to be cute. Like, I do this for a living, okay? Like, this is my life. I do this. So if you want help defeating some of those disgusting ideas, just say something and I'll hit you up in a little bit. But I do this. Like, this is what I do. I had a person tell me that their dad told them that all they'd be good for, okay, sissy, all they'd be good for is laying on their back since they were a kid. Like, what? What? Like, you telling a little girl that kind of stuff? Like, who says that? But we are consistently and working together, taking that idea out of her head, because that's not something that she needs to even think about. Like, so now the guys that she's always attracted since she was a little girl to, into her 30s, is that's all she's thought. And that's all she's going, like, that's all that's being brought to her. It's the law of attraction. So she's had to realize and unlearn some of the things that she had implanted. And she didn't recognize that was really bothering her until she talked to me. I was like, I'm intuitive, which means that I can hear things and pick up things from people. And so I was like, yo, what's up with you and your dad? Like, what did he say to you? And that's how she told me. It wasn't like she just came out and told me, so there's situations like that with a lot of people that I can just pick things up with. So I'm good for helping people. I want to help people. And if this is your issue, you have some ideas and negative thoughts that are always in your head, talk to me. I discovered my gift, and this is why I'm very good at talking to people about this crap, because I discovered my gift when I went to school for it. I was in this relationship so I went through like a series of horrible relationships, abusive relationships. Hey, boo. I went through like a series of ridiculous relationships, and I got married in one of those stupid relationships. It was the worst mistake of my life. Thank you. And in that, I recognized, like, there's something else going on here that I need to fix. I went to school initially at Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia for psychology. I wanted to be a marriage and family therapist. That's what I wanted to do. I quit after 2 years. I hated Virginia. I wanted California back. And I was like, I want to stay here. So I stayed here and went to San Joaquin Delta College for a number of years and did so many things, like, I don't even think you guys would understand. Like, I did everything and anything, all things media. So if you look under certain names, you'll find me in like short films and singing and acting and interviewing, because I was like also an interviewer for like the news station. So I did a whole bunch of random things. And then someone walked up to me and told me I was supposed to be, hell no. Somebody walked to me and told me that I was supposed to be a healer and I was wasting my time. So I quit my job at a top 20 news station in the market. I'll tell you that in a second. At a top 20 market, and I flew out to Virginia and went to school for all things holistic health and wellness. But I got into acting because I was a model. First, this is so embarrassing. I hate talking about my past. But I was a model for a few years on print and runway. And so acting was just the next avenue. Anyway, moving forward. And I just feel like now it's like all water under the bridge. But in doing so, I was able to learn a lot about myself. Like, I was looking for, like, the Neanderthal. Remember I told you guys about the Neanderthal comment? I was working so hard to combat that idea. Sissy, I got you. I was working so hard to combat the idea that I was ugly, that I became a professional model. And I was working so hard to, my dad told me I couldn't sing. And I was working so hard to prove him wrong. Next thing I know, I'm on everybody's TV. So that's just how that happened. Like, that's just what happened. And that's how life can really, thank you guys, that's how life can really, like, spiral if you don't pay attention. I mean, for me, those are just little things. There were other things that also told me that I needed to move forward. So, yeah, that's my background in that. Are we done with that now? Can we move forward? So embarrassing. Oh, my God, it's so embarrassing thinking of all the stuff I used to do. That was crazy. I turned it for good. I did, but oh Lord, child, that was crazy. Anywho, so like I was saying earlier, it's not about stereotyping. Just because you see a young woman, oh, thank you, I appreciate it. Just because you see a young woman yelling at her significant other doesn't mean that she's damaged or just bitter. It could be that he did something wrong, period, in that moment. But what I will tell you next is, this is interesting. If you are damaged yourself and you try to get into a relationship, I'm going to say this just because I mean this from my heart. If you're damaged yourself and you're trying to get into a relationship to fix the damage that you feel, I can guarantee you it ain't going to work. It's not going to work. I've done that before. I know plenty of my co-creators who've tried it before. You can't expect somebody else to fix you. Like, one of the great things I can tell you about the person I married is they helped a lot. They helped a whole hell of a lot. But they could not fix everything in me. They couldn't fix it. Even if they wanted to, they couldn't have. And I wanted to, thank you, Trey, that's very true. And I wanted to help that individual super bad. Like, oh, I see you're broken. Let me help you. And as women, I'm going to talk to y'all. As women, we will naturally do that. Real talk. Natural givers, natural nurturers who be like, I want to help heal this man. And some dudes are out there the same exact way who are just natural nurturers. And they just want to help out the women as much as they can. They want to be, Captain Save 'em. Can't say that word I was going to say. But they want to be Captain Save 'em. That's good. Yes, Janice. That's exactly perfect. Thank you. It's time to be single. It's time to really work with yourself and recognize where you're at. Now, if you're in a relationship already and you're recognizing that this stuff resonates with you, that you might be damaged, that you might have issues that you're holding on from elementary school, and you're in a relationship and the person is good to you, give them a round of applause. Round of applause for sticking it out with you. That's number one. Number two is, I would say inform them that you're going to start making some changes. Because if they fell in love with the person right now, yeah, Trey, I know. Child, Lord, yes. If they're willing to deal with you now, that's great. But in becoming whole yourself, this is going to sound really harsh, but in becoming whole yourself, you might find that they no longer serve their purpose in your life. So just like, hey, babe, I want you to know I'm going to be taking time working on me. I really want to make sure that I'm whole so that I can bring my all to this relationship. I want to make sure that what we have here is strong and building. And when you find yourself and you find your whole and you find your everything within yourself, you'll find like, yes, they were there to help you at that time, but they can't continue on in your life. And that's the hardest thing to say. I ain't going to lie to you. That's hard to say. That's really hard to say, because especially if you've been with somebody years and years and years, you start to recognize not that you're better than them. It's not about, good, I'm coming to see you. It's not about an ego trip. Please recognize it's not an ego thing. You can help them grow too, but you'll find yourself realizing like, yo, what are you here for? And it's not an ego thing. I need to really stress that. It's not out of ego. It's not like, why are you here? What's your good? Like, what are you good for? You're not beneficial, but you'll see that they can only have such a capacity. They only hold such capacity and they cannot go further. So the reason why I would say, if you want to talk about that, really talk to me about that, because there's so many ins and outs to that. And that's just a blanketed statement. And I don't want everybody ending their 13-year relationships just because they find out that they can grow and they no longer need this person. Like, nah, let's talk about this. I do couples therapy. Okay. Any questions? Okay, one more thing, because this is going to probably be a series. I'm not going to sit up here and talk your ears off. The next thing is, if you decide that you're going to be in a relationship with a damaged person, or that you're damaged and you're going to stay in a relationship, I'm going to use a girl-boy heterosexual example here just because, just am. If a woman was hurt by a man and she decides to stay, or if a lesbian decides to stay with another lesbian. If somebody hurt somebody in the relationship and you as the hurt person decide to stay, please recognize what you're getting yourself into. Say this individual cheated on you. I forgive you. I'm good. We can move forward. But you bring that up every single day, or you bring that stuff up every single second, or you can't trust them to go down the street to get some soda and you're always worried about it. It is time to really let go. I'm going to tell you why. Because until you can heal yourself and until you can learn how to trust people again, even if it's just that person, until you can learn how to trust again, all you're going to be doing is bringing a whole lot of drama to your life. What kind of person wants that? What? Who? You? I don't want it. You're not going to sit up here. If I hurt you, say I cheated. I'm with you. And you tell me, oh, it's cool, babe. We can go forward. We're good. But every time I talk to you, you whining and complaining about how I cheated. You're not good. You're not cool. Peace. Do it moving. Deuces. You don't need to stay here, because I'm not going to sit up here and continuously say I'm sorry, and pay for my mistake over and over and over. And I'm going to get tired. I'm going to drain my energy. I'm not going to do that. But here's the bright side about it. Don't cheat at all. Then you don't have to worry about that, right? Just don't cheat at all. But the next thing is, if you cheated or if you did something to hurt your mate and you decide that you're going to stick it out, and you decide, you know what, I hurt this individual and they're worth whatever they give me, then be prepared for that as well. You have to understand what position you're going to move in, what position you're going to play, and play that position. Right. You fool me once, shame on me. On you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? Just confuse abuse with love. Yes. Yes, they do. Okay, sissy. The interesting thing about abuse and love is they feel the same. If you don't know any better. If you don't know any better, they feel the same. It's like, how's the best way to put this? There's a way to put this, and I have to be careful with my words. Okay, so I'm holistic health and wellness, right? I'm all about raising your vibration, manifesting, law of attraction, life you want, right? People will oftentimes say you have to vibrate at a super high level to have everything you want. Like you have to vibrate high as hell. You have to be on a level 10 at all times in order for life to work in your favor. The problem with that is that people don't understand just how strong those negative vibrations are too. Those negative vibrations are just as strong as those positive ones. Y'all didn't recognize that, huh? So if negative vibration is just as strong as positive vibration, it is important, it is imperative to recognize when you're negative, recognize when you're angry or hurting, and start turning that to your good. Here's an example. My word for the year, it was the end of last year into this year, and it's always worked for me. Every time I'm angry, abundance. Okay. Have fun on your meditation, baby. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate you. Trey is one of my co-creators, and she's just amazing. She's done so many things. I can't claim anything for her. She's done all the work herself before she even met me. And then she met me, and it's like, I'm grateful that I met her. So thank you, Trey. I appreciate you being here. Have fun. It's like abundance is my word. So if I mess around here and somebody says something to me that I don't like, if somebody bothers me, and like a boss is saying, like at my old job, my bosses would be stupid, just stupid. The quickest thing for me to recognize is the word abundance. I'm going to tell you why. Because I set my intention that every time I say abundance, it means abundance in money, abundance in finances, abundance in financial stability, abundance in love, and abundance in understanding. So my coworkers, some of my friends, we knew what I was saying. So I would say abundance, 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 and they would laugh because they knew what I was doing. But if you didn't know what I was doing, you're like, what? But it's because my negative vibration has just as much power as my positive vibration. And I'm not going to discredit or discount or not use that vibration to the better good. Period. I'm going to use it to my better good. So the first portion of this series is pretty much about how to recognize and acknowledge either if you're damaged or if you're in a damaged relationship. And you'll recognize you're in a damaged relationship because there'll be a whole bunch of nagging back and forth. You'll recognize that you can say hi to the individual, and the individual will automatically be like, why are you saying hi to me? It's so annoying. Or, it's little things like that. That's how you recognize that you're in a damaged relationship. There's always bickering. There's always arguing. And you'll recognize that you'll have to coddle somebody all the time. Like you have to constantly coddle them, constantly stroke their ego. It's a consistent stroking. You're consistently saying, baby, I didn't mean it that way. Baby, I didn't mean to say it that way. Baby, you took it out of context. Baby, no. That person is damaged. That is the number one way quickly to recognize if you're in a damaged relationship, is if you have to consistently say baby, baby, baby. Baby, no, I didn't mean it that way. Baby, no, you took it the wrong way. Baby, no, I didn't say it like that. Baby, no, you hearing stuff. Baby, no, you putting words in my mouth. If you constantly say that, you're in a relationship with a damaged person. Now, tomorrow, more than likely tomorrow, about 1 o'clock again, I'll get back on here and tell you how to work with that individual, because this has already been extremely long. So I'll tell you how to work with that individual. If you are in a damaged relationship and you want to help that person, thanks. And you want to see how to help that person move forward, because there's a way you can help. There is a way you can help. But if you're going to take on that responsibility, you need to know what you're getting into. So it's a lot of apologizing. It's a lot of stroking of the ego. And then on top of that, it's learning how to let your ego die and helping them learn their ego needs to die as well. Y'all get that? Is that okay for y'all to understand? Like, yeah. So I will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I look forward to seeing you all and helping you figure out how, once again, you're in a damaged relationship, how to help the damaged individual, and how to move on from there. Yay. Bye.